Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dr. Erika by Design. Today, we are joined by the incomparable Dawn Foster, who is the owner of D Foster Marketing. She's a marketing strategist and brand guru who sees shapes and colors before words. Now, you may be saying, wait a second. We done seen her before, Erika, and you will be correct. You have. And Dawn is back for a second episode on this season.
I'm back.
Only guest has ever been on the show twice. And Dawn, thank you for being here. Thank you for putting up with me twice. I appreciate it. Welcome back.
Oh, absolutely. I'm happy to be here.
So, funny story, guys, and I'm be full transparency here. Dawn is a trooper because the first time she came to the show, I completely screwed up my schedule. So I was not prepared for Dawn, and I felt so bad. And she was just such a gracious guest. So thank you for kind of rolling with the punches last time, Dawn. And I'm excited to get to this conversation today. Yay! Okay.
No worries. Let's get into it.
Yes. So last time we spoke a little bit, we kind of did a little bit of a dive into the meaning and differences between branding and marketing, right? And today I want to kind of continue that conversation, but also bring it back to a little bit of personal things that we both go through as entrepreneurs, right? In our first year of business. Because I think we both started around the same time frame in 2020, in the middle of the pandemic. People thought we were crazy. Okay. And if you're like me, you know, that the first year was not smooth sailing. Like it wasn't just all roses and peaches and candy. There were some roadblocks and stumbles and things like that. So from your perspective, what was the biggest hurdle you had to overcome in your overall business during those first 365 days of having D Foster Marketing?
So a few things, two main things that I was like, Dawn, you need to get yourself together. One of the things I've always struggled with my entire career, which has been, I'm going to do this thing because I can get it done fast, rather than hand it over to someone else, get them to do it. I have a virtual assistant, and I fell into by the time I explained to her like where to get these things from, catch her up to speed, I can just get it done. But that was something that I should know better. I've had clear conversations with my therapist about like me releasing things. But that was something that I fell into old habits, and being uncomfortable with my time forced me to say, okay, I can't continue to do this. So that's one of the main things that I was like, I can't keep doing this. Yeah.
Okay. So delegating, and that's always hard because like you said, you think you can do it faster. Sometimes if you're like me, a perfectionist, I think I can do it better. And my way is the right way. Right? That's something that a lot of people have challenges with. So it came down to you sort of seeing your time as a resource that kind of pushed you to be able to delegate it. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes. Okay. Especially when it was something that was like, oh, this will take me 20 minutes. And then for some reason, 3 hours later, it's like, I should have wrote that email and pushed this off. But it's always weird how something that I think is going to take 20 minutes turns into 3 hours. And that's almost half my day.
Yeah. It's funny. I host these roundtables, and that's one of the things that I talk to the people in the roundtables about is sometimes we need to take an audit of the time that we spend, right? We think something's going to take 10 minutes and it takes 3 hours. So doing some type of time audit and really understanding different projects that you have and what's the estimated time that it takes you to do those things so you can better plan your day. So that's interesting, you know. So for you, it was delegating. That was your biggest hurdle, right? For me, it was getting caught in all the gurus and what they said should be done and like following 10,000 different gurus and just information overload was what got me at first. And I quickly got over that because that kind of puts you in this busyness energy.
Mhm,
You know what I mean?
I
And
love that busyness energy.
yes, you get stuck in like the busyness, the busy of your business
Yeah.
instead of, things that really move the needle. After I got past that, what I found was my biggest challenge. I'm still struggling with it now. Don't laugh at me, Dawn. Um,
This is a safe space.
no, it's different. I'm struggling with finding my voice in my business, right? And it's really trying to have this consistent communication around the business and a platform that speaks not just to me, but to my clients. Is that something that you see happens often with new entrepreneurs? Is they can't
Yes.
find that voice? Okay, so I'm not
That
crazy.
No, you're not at all. Not at all. Because you finding your voice for your business goes along with just the voice of your brand as a whole. So, for example, the voice for my brand is provides education, tips, tricks, and suggestions of like, hey, business owners, be aware of this, or you could do this better. One of the things that I say, that I'm guilty of, is just because you can do it all doesn't mean you should be doing it all. That's me being kettle there. But because that's the tone of my business, that's how my voice shows up across all of my different channels. And it's actually one of the things that I go over as clients are building out their brand. What you sound like, look like, all of that goes into building out your brand.
Okay. So I'm not alone. That's good. And I want to touch on something you just said, like, because you can do it all, you shouldn't do it all. So how did you determine what things you should not do?
That time thing.
Okay.
So my background, I started in the design space. So I know how to execute a good chunk of what the creative services are that my business provides. But one of the things that I always got caught up in is things that had to do with web or figuring out like design connections, integrations. And I was like, I have to hire someone. Like, I can't spend the time to figure this out. I need to hire someone that already knows, make my life easier. His name is Greg. Shout out to Greg.
Hey, Greg.
With Greg, I'll get an email about something and just send it to him at this point and be like, hey, what is this? Like, tell me the things rather than me spending 3 hours. Just break it down, make it plain for me. But yeah, it was definitely that time and recognizing that the things that I'm not an expert in, I need to seek the expertise of someone else in order for my business to operate smoothly, to get to success faster, because time is a resource.
Right. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So you're making me think that I need somebody for branding, because apparently I can't figure that out on my own. Because I'm still struggling with it after a year, right? You would think that, and maybe you can tell me this. After a year, in my head, I would think that your brand should be solid. Like,
no, I'm gonna cut you off.
No? Okay.
So I think a big misconception about branding is like, once you start your business, okay, I'm done. That is not the case at all. Branding is something that never, ever ends, ever, 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 ever ends. So in addition to having a marketing strategy, you also need to have a brand strategy. And sometimes those two will overlap. But your brand will continue to evolve. So I have this online series called the Foundation Series, where we talk about how to build your brand from start to finish, all the components that go into it. As you mentioned, finding your voice, we cover that in the series. And one of the points that I talk about is branding never ends. And an example that I like to use is everyone knows who Coca-Cola is. Everyone knows who Nike is, but they continue to market themselves, brand themselves, because it's something that is an ongoing thing, no matter what business you're in.
So it's not a one and done.
It's not, unfortunately.
Okay. Well, I mean, it makes me feel better.
Yeah.
I don't have to have it all figured out in 365 days. So that makes me feel a lot better.
Even if you think about it, when you start a business, who your target audience is, that target audience has changed and evolved. Where we were a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, if you branded your business specifically for your target audience at that point, your target audience is doing something different. Their behaviors have now changed. What they want has changed. What they need has changed. How they interact as consumers is different. And that's another reason why your branding continues to evolve. Your voice will continue to change and should continue to meet the needs of who your audience is.
I never thought about the audience growing and changing, because everyone always says, pick your ideal client and like put it on the wall and look at it and talk to them. And so I always see it as static. But you make a good point that they are growing, they are changing, just like we are every day.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
I love that. Okay, so I talked about my problem as a new entrepreneur being like the vision or the voice of my business. From your perspective, is there one big pitfall that new entrepreneurs should avoid, or just an overall common mistake that you see new entrepreneurs make?
Yeah. And we've talked about it here, and that's just not putting the time and energy into accurately brand your business, understand what goes into branding your business. I think that a lot of new business owners think that I need a logo, I need a website, and I'm going to have social channels, and that's it. But so much more goes into that. For my clients, before that are starting from scratch, before we even get into what your brand looks like, sounds like, how you show up, we do the work of uncovering where they want to go, what they want to represent. We go through a good amount of just words on paper, talking things through, figuring out who their audience actually is before we actually get into any type of creative and content and copy for that brand.
Okay, that makes
so
sense.
It's a big misstep is skipping over that brand work and really understanding your brand.
Why do you think a lot of us go directly to that logo, website, social media so quickly?
I think that people just, it's like, I know marketing and branding, time and how to navigate. It's just, if it's not what you do, if it's not what you focus on, it's easy to think that you've covered all your bases, even though you haven't. And I also think that sometimes if people don't know, they may go online to figure it out and are picking up bits and pieces of information here and there. But marketing and branding is way more complex than that, because what you may be hearing is maybe specific to a different audience, a different business, different industry, different budget. Branding and marketing really is going to be catered specifically to your business and your audience. So it's hard to gather that information and put it all together and think that that's what's going to work if you're not just focused on the right thing specifically for your business.
Now, you brought up a word there that just hit me, which was for your budget. And I wonder if some people stay away from like the branding marketing because they think, well, I don't have the budget to hire someone to help me sort of navigate those waters. So I'm just going to stick to my Instagram page and make it happen that way. Uh, what do you say to those people?
It's everyone starts somewhere.
Mhm.
I've worked with companies that have had large budgets and businesses that have had almost non-existent budgets. But one of the things that you can do is also consider time as part of your budget, and look at time, how much money you have, and then you can start somewhere. It doesn't have to be big at all. I think that a lot of people think, if I'm not spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on a regular basis, then I may as well not do anything at all. And
Yeah.
that's not the case.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
love that you bring up time, because that's like one of my principal foundations is when you're thinking about productivity, because for me, productivity is a lifestyle. So when you're thinking about productivity, there are two resources, right? Your time and your money. And oftentimes we go to that money resource and forget that time.
Yes.
You know, what are you investing your time in versus what you're spending your time in?
Yeah.
That $100 that you're spending on branding or whatever, what is that saving you? What time is that saving you? Is that saving you time to spend with your kiddos? Is it saving you time to spend with your
Yeah.
husband? Is it saving you time that you can now go to the gym or go crafting or go to a cosplay comic con like I do? Whatever it is, like what is that bringing to your life? And I think that's a lot of people sort of miss that piece of being able to be productive and being able to do the things in your business that need to get done.
Yes.
So, yeah. Okay. I love that.
And
So go ahead.
you bring up something as well, that time component. I think that for business owners, solopreneurs, there's this idea that you'll be successful if you're not sleeping, if you're skipping out. I don't subscribe to that. And one of the main things that I always try to tell my clients is like, don't spin your wheels and waste your time on things that are not helping your business when it comes to branding and marketing.
Mhm.
And like you said, the time resource, I'm big on making sure that people are spending their time in a smart way. What did you say earlier? That busy energy. Don't
Yeah.
like it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. No, I'm all about hashtag be bread. Okay. Are you a baker or a cooker? Do you cook?
No, I was gonna say, did you say bread?
I said bread. So
Okay, tell me.
in order to bake bread, you have to make the dough, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's one of the key things about the dough in preparation for bread?
I am not the person that knows the answer.
You have to let the dough rest.
Okay.
The dough
Okay.
has to rest typically overnight or something like that. And because you let it rest, the bread comes out tastier and lighter and fluffier and just scrumdiddlyumptious,
I
right?
see where you're
You see,
going with
and we need to be
this.
like bread because rest is part of productivity. If you don't rest, you can't be your best. You can't do your best. You can't give the world, your family, you your best.
Yes. Yeah.
So be bread.
Yeah. I like that. Be bread.
Be bread. Make that trend somewhere. I don't know how to trend stuff, but I don't know. I'm telling y'all that. But yes, it's all about using your time, using your resources, both your
Yes.
time and your money wisely. And if, in this conversation that we're having now, if branding is something that you want to do and you don't have the time to do it, that's not your zhuzh, that's not your quirk, then delegate that to somebody else and ask for help. I think to your point, delegation is always something hard for us because we want to hold on so tightly to stuff. And I don't know how you go ahead.
Go ahead.
I don't know how you as a new entrepreneur get over that quicker. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've definitely seen the entrepreneurs that do want to hold on to everything.
Mhm.
No matter what it is, because they consider it their baby or this piece of the puzzle, or emotionally connected, or sometimes trust is an issue as well. But I also see people hold on to it because they just don't realize that they may have a misunderstanding about what it's actually going to take in order to let it go. So as I was saying before, people may think that there are hundreds of thousands of dollars that they have to invest into things, but that's not always the case. Like, if it can be worth your time if you break it down and say, okay, if I put X amount in, what, like you said before, what am I getting? And use that money to give yourself some comfort. Don't stretch yourself then.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So it sounds like what I'm hearing is that overall, as a new entrepreneur, it's really just about building that base, building that a good foundation just across the
Yes.
board, right? In
Yeah.
every aspect of your business, whether it's the productivity piece, whether it's the marketing piece, whether it's your messaging, whatever. It's you need that foundation, and taking that time to build that foundation
Yeah.
is going to be key. And you mentioned earlier that you're working on a program now to help entrepreneurs sort of build
Yes.
that, right? So tell me, like, what made you start that? Because you have other programs. So what made you create this new program?
So one of the reasons why I started my business, my true passion really lies with helping solopreneurs, people that are just starting their business, women entrepreneurs, and minorities like myself. My community is what I call them. Helping them get the foundation set so that it's going to be easier for them to scale. And the series is called the Foundation Series. And with that, we cover, see what I did there? With that, we cover everything from knowing what the why is for your business, going through like why you started your business, reflecting on it to help you put the pieces of the puzzle together when it comes to knowing what your brand should embody, and then putting the visuals to it. I then go even further to cover, okay, these are going to be the best tools for you to use. We cover email marketing, picking the best social media platforms, picking a website that's going to work with all the systems of your business. And I even cover how to go about creating that first marketing budget. So it's really providing all the education and uncovering and answering some of those misunderstandings as to what it takes to build a brand and how much you actually need to invest in building that brand as well.
There's a lot there that's in that program. And I'm gonna tell you, like, my mind's always going. The thing that stuck out to me there was you said deciding or helping you figure out which one you need, email marketing or social media marketing. You mean to tell me I don't have to have them all?
No, dear, you don't.
That's what the guru said. King.
And that's one of the great things about this series is the gurus, I'm clearing up and helping people unlearn what they thought they knew. And I'm basically holding your hand through every piece of the puzzle to get your business up and running. I don't just tell you how, I'm also telling you the why and breaking down like why you should or should not be doing things.
That's awesome. I love that. When does it start?
It's live now.
Okay.
It's live now. We just launched at the top of this month, and it is available, and it's a super reasonable price. As I said before, my passion is with solopreneurs. I understand that you have limited time, you have limited money, so it's not going to break the bank. It's super affordable so that you can get your business started with the right footing.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And I love that when you were listing out the different components of it, that you talk about the why behind your business, right? And as I'm sitting here, I think that is one of the things that everyone talks about, like across the various facets of business. But I also think it's not only one of the hardest things sometimes to determine, it's one of the things that's often overlooked. And maybe I'm just talking to myself right now, because getting that why is so key to so many things. It's key to staying focused. It's key to staying productive. It's key to staying, saying no to certain things that don't match your values and your goals. It's key to knowing like who your audience is. And I love that you have that as part of this program, because even if you've done it somewhere else, it's always a good idea to go back and remind yourself of it, right?
Yes.
And to sit in that space for a little while. So I love that. Now I'm gonna have to go back and think about my why, Dawn.
Yeah, I always say the why is going to be the North Star for your business. It's when it comes to time as well. One of the things that I ask myself is this going to align with the why of my business and the goals of my business? The decisions that I make, how I present myself, how I respond to things that may not work for me personally or for my business, I ask myself, does this align with who I want my business to be? Does this align with me being able to sleep at night as well? Right. The why connects to so many different things.
Yeah. Where do you keep your why?
Where do I keep my why?
Yeah, like, do you have a vision board? Do you have like your why statement, like your why definitions you just gave us? Do you have it on the wall, or do you just keep it in your head?
I keep it in my head.
Okay.
And this is gonna sound so corny. I keep it in my heart. That sounds so corny. I'm turning into my mother.
Oh gosh.
It needs to stay in my head because it's what I'm going to put first in every decision that I make. Yeah.
Okay. I love it. Thanks, Mom, for keeping it in your heart. So the Foundations program, I just want to get a little bit more information about this. So it's already online. Is it self-paced?
Yes, it is. So there are actually two different options.
Okay.
You can do the self-guided, or if you just need a little bit more oversight, you can upgrade to have a consultant from my team go hand in hand with you through the series. So that person will check all of your worksheets, any assessments that you take, just to make sure that you're accurately connecting all the dots. So if you, in session 2, if you identify this is my why, but when we go over determining who your target audience is, if you've got the consultant oversight, they can catch something. If it's like, hey, some of these things aren't aligning, consider this, or I know that's not going to be the best choice for you. So there are two different options, self-guided and with a consultant oversight.
Gotcha. Okay. Awesome. Yay, I like that. You might see me in the program. Don't tell anybody.
I'll send an email, be like, Erika, that you?
I know, right? No, okay. I have another question that popped into my head, and because you were talking about audiences, and this goes back to just being new in the space of entrepreneurship, right? Is it okay to have more than one audience from your perspective? Or does it need to be one solo?
I am going to start with one. It's difficult. It's extremely difficult to be something to more than one audience.
Okay.
So you can have an audience, but under that audience, you can have different personas. But if you're trying to be everything to everyone, most businesses cannot do that successfully. Especially for small business owners, just start with one. Perfect that. It's also going to be easier. The more audiences you have, the more efforts you're going to have to make in order to speak to those audiences. Because, for example, I can't talk to you the same way I talk to a colleague of mine that I know on a more professional level. It's the same thing. So whatever I say to you is going to look different than what I say to them. And that's the issue you run into if you try to have more than one audience.
Yeah. Okay. I need you to stop talking to me, Dawn. about the issues that I have. It's starting to hurt my feelings. But those are things that we will learn in this foundations program.
Yes.
Things like that.
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. So where can they find that? It's on your website, you said?
Yes.
Shout it out.
dfostermarketing.com under services, and right there in the header, you can see the foundation series, and it'll take you over, tell you everything you'll learn. You'll get outline of the things that we'll cover that you'll walk away with, different tools and resources. It's all there. I'm giving everything I know in this 9-video series, just about everything. We cover, it's so much that we cover. It's so much that we cover.
Wow. In 9, okay. Yeah, I'm definitely looking at that.
Yeah. Well, it's 9 videos. That was a long day of shooting.
You shot it all in one day?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Way to use your time.
In the last episode, I was like, I'm a certain type of person with a certain type of personality. If I start, we're going to long haul it. I'm going to give you lunch. I'm going to feed you while you're here. Everyone has a call for when they need to be here, loading up, packing out. Yes, it's one day. I'm going to get it done.
Yes. Just one day to be.
But thanks for the kudos of, that's the other thing too. I don't have to get hair and makeup done twice. One and done.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so looking back over your year, the first year of your business, what are you most proud of?
That is an awesome question. Okay, one answer.
Hey, you are the special second episode guest, so you do it.
Oh, that's right. I'm going to say this foundation series, I'm proud of it. I'm excited about it because, as I said, it 100% aligns with my why. The other thing that I'm proud of in my first year is the team that I have. As I mentioned, I want to support solopreneurs, other women, minorities. Women and minorities is the bulk of who my team consists of. So it's also giving back to my community that I'm proud of, excited about. I'm ecstatic that I'm able to do for my business what I indeed set out to do. That's a great question.
Oh, thank you. And what I absolutely love about your answer, it's funny how we started the conversation and you said one of your biggest challenges was delegating. And now you're telling me that one of the things you're proud of is the team that you built. So it shows me how you went from the fear of delegation to just being able to expand your business by delegating those things out to other people. So kudos to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh. Okay. I don't have any more questions for you, darling.
That was good.
Empty. Can you believe
that? Was good.
Questions. And I'm lying because I can't let you leave without getting into the fat. But before we get into that, thank you so much again for coming on the show a second time.
Absolutely.
I love it.
I'm going to ask to come. Oh, let's do this every year. And then I'm gonna be like, can I be a co-host?
Don't be starting to write checks that you're not ready to cash, John. Hey. We're thinking of how to revamp the show, so you're giving me ideas here.
I'm super thankful that you had me back on the show. Definitely excited to be back.
Yay! Awesome. Well, my dear, because you are the special guest second time around, I had to come up with some new questions for you.
Okay.
For the path forward.
Okay. I think so.
Okay, the first one's the easy one. Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Okay. Any kind? Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts? What are you?
There's a I'm actually on a coffee subscription. Oh goodness.
Really?
Yeah, which is interesting because I only started drinking coffee like 2 years ago. But there's a Black-owned coffee company out of California. 14th Street is the flavor that I order, but for the life of me, I can't remember the name. I'm going to have to email it to you, but
Okay.
I order it, it's charged, it ships directly to me once a month.
Yeah, get me that. I love these random questions. I learned so much.
I'm
Okay.
gonna see if I can. It's gonna take me too long to pull it up. I'll email it to you.
It's just for me. Sorry, guys. You'll have to email me to get the answer.
The flavor is called 14th Street.
Okay.
I do know that much. So if you Google 14th Street Coffee, California, it should get you there.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Ooh, maybe not.
We'll find it for you. We'll put it somewhere. Question number 2. What is the best productivity tip you heard that you actually incorporate into your day-to-day?
Ooh. I don't know what to, so I've slightly modified it for what works for me. But people who are like, start your day off with meditation, I've got this whole system where I wake up, I have my coffee, I read my daily devotional, I journal, and that is the start of my day.
Okay.
It's something that I had kind of like wavered with for a while, but I recently turned it into a non-negotiable, like this is what I do first thing in the morning. And it has made a world of difference in terms of setting the tone for my day. I'm more productive. I have a more optimistic outlook on the day. I have clarity. It's definitely something that has helped.
Awesome. I'm smirking because I'm thinking about productivity. And I'm so the complete opposite. Like, but everybody has their own way of like their productivity, which is what I love because you can do different things, whatever works for you. I've tried the meditation in the morning. I still do 3 minutes. But yeah, anyway, I love it. I want a tangent on productivity if you let me. So let me go on number 3. What would you tell day one Dawn that was about to say, you know, today's the first day of me in my business? What would you tell her based upon your knowledge now?
Oh,
see, this is what you get when you come on the show a second time.
Day one Dawn, I would tell her, I have no clue. Probably something about like knowing what my limits are. Wait, okay, just to clarify, is this like now Dawn telling day one Dawn, like this is what's going to happen in the future, watch out for it?
You could tell this is you telling her what can happen in the future. This is you telling her motivating words to keep going. It's whatever you would say to her.
It would be like, make sure you know exactly what your client max is and figure out how to pause projects if like the client needs time, because there was like a few months where I was like, this is a lot. That's what I would tell day one Dawn. Like, hey, this is coming, get it together, avoid it. Yeah.
All right, cool. Now the last one is always a statement that I want you to finish. Last time you told me I am, and you finished that statement. Now I want you to look into the future and say, I will, and finish that statement.
I will do it all.
Okay.
Yeah. Do it all is every goal that I set, everything that I want for my life, I'm going to do it all.
All right. I love it. We want to see it happen.
Oh, okay.
Let's be watching.
I'm gonna say we need another check-in.
Exactly. Dawn, thank you so much for being here. Just one more time, in case someone missed it, tell us about your new program and where they can find it.
Sure. It's called the Foundation Series. And if you go to my website, defaulstermarketing.com, you can find it, or you can go to the foundationseries.defaulstermarketing.com and get directly to it.
Awesome. So any new business entrepreneurs out there, any entrepreneurs in general looking to create that great foundation, maybe I'll see you there when I join. Get my foundation going. And Dawn, you're on social media everywhere, right?
Yes, D. Foster Marketing across all channels.
Lovely. Well, Dawn, thank you again for being my second time guest.
Absolutely.
Oh.
I'm glad I was the first.
Yes. As always, guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And we will catch you all next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.